All right, if you're shopping new construction homes in Forney right now, there's a lot of these communities right along that Highway 80. You need to watch this before you submit an offer because there's a tax line on the property tax estimate that a lot of buyers don't understand. Of course, I'm talking about MUDs and PIDs. These two taxes can quietly add $100 or even $300 a month to your payment, and that's of course on a house that you've already run numbers on. I'm Bill Moomaw. I'm with Regal Realtors. I work the Kaufman County area. Of course, Forney, Terrell, Crandall, Kaufman. And I talk about these MUDs and PIDs constantly. So today I wanted to lay it all out for you in plain language with real numbers. So let's get into it. So here's the deal. When the developer comes in and they build a master plan community, they have to do the roads, water lines, drainage, the parks, the amenity centers, and all of this costs money up front. It's a lot of money, actually. The developer doesn't just eat this cost. They set up a financing structure, they issue bonds to pay for the infrastructure, and then the buyers who move in over the next 20 to 30 years, they're the ones that pay off those bonds through their tax bill. And that's what a MUD and PID are. They're two different ways of doing the same basic thing, passing that infrastructure cost off to homeowners. Neither one's automatically bad. They're legal, they're disclosed, and honestly, a lot of these communities you see them in, it probably feels like it's worth it for you. But this is a big thing. They do change your monthly payment, and if you didn't know they were there, your lender is going to find out 2 weeks or so before closing, and that can end up being a really bad day. So let's look at both of them. So first, MUD. This stands for Municipal Utility District. It's a separate government entity, and it's created specifically to provide water, sewer, drainage, and other infrastructures to this defined area. The MUD issues a bond, and then homeowners inside that district pay an ongoing property tax on everything else, your school taxes, county taxes, city taxes, to retire those bonds over time. Now, in Forney right now, the base tax rate combining the city tax, the school tax, and Kaufman County, it's about 1.99%. And on a home that's 350,000, that's about 6,950 a year. You add that MUD tax, and that payment's going to shift. So if you're in MUD District number one, which is a big one in Forney, that tax rate combined can be 2.34%. So on the same home, it could be $1,225 a year more than one without that MUD. And that can be on the lower end too. So there's some other districts around here where that tax rate can go up to 2.9 or even 3.1%. And on that same home, we're talking $3,500 a year. So it could be $290, $300 more per month. And just like that, your monthly payment's different. And then here's the thing about MUD. It generally will stay in place until those bonds are paid off. In 25, 30 years, some districts go ahead and they issue new bonds. So just plan on this being part of your life the whole time you own the home. Now, a PID, this is a public improvement district. It's structured just a little bit different. It's the same idea. It funds the roads, water, waste lines, drainage, landscaping, trails, parks, the big gates when you come in. But instead of a separate ongoing tax rate that's assessed to your lot. So this is the two key differences between PID and MUD. So a PID has an end date. It's tied to a specific bond schedule, and when it's paid off, that line item goes away, whereas the MUD can stick around indefinitely. Second, you can pay off that PID early. So the city of Forney allows that PID assessment to be paid in full through their finance department. So if you got the cash and that math works, you can just pay it off and be done with it. You don't got to mess with it every year. And that, whether or not this makes sense, of course, is up to your situation. How long you're going to be living in the home, what your interest rate is, how much liquid cash you have. It's something you go over with your realtor and your lender and see if that break even makes sense to you. But the point is a MUD is more likely to be a permanent property tax, and a PID is more likely to be a long-term assessment that you pay down or you hold till its maturity. Neither one's automatically worse. It just depends on your timeline and, of course, your budget. So here's where most buyers drop the ball. They don't find out until it's too late. In Texas, sellers and developers are required to disclose the mud and PID status. But the thing is that they do show up at two different points in the process. The mud disclosure, this is under Texas Water Code Chapter 49. And in 2026, they added a TREC form that makes it to where we can disclose it easier. You should see it before you get into a contract. Now, the PID disclosure is a completely separate notice. This goes under Texas Local Government Code Chapter 372. The mud disclosure doesn't cover the PID. They're each independent from each other. And a property can be in a mud, a PID, or both, or neither. New construction in Forney's master plan communities, it's frequently, or at least one of those is in place. So here's what I tell buyers, these three things you should do before you fall in love with a new home in Forney. One, we need to pull the address through the Kaufman County Appraisal District. All the taxing authorities in there. You can see that parcel for public record. Go look at these things. Two, let's ask the builder's sales rep to provide the PID or mud notices in writing, not verbally, in writing. We should be looking at that before you do earnest money deposits or anything. And then three, let's get the actual prior year's tax bill for the model home or closed comparable in that area. These approximate taxes number on the listing. It's often based on the land only, not the land plus the completed home. And this is the only way that it can be paid off or you can really know. So if you're working with a good buyer agent, they're going to be doing this for you before you write the offer. If you're not, just send me any of the Forney addresses and I'll pull it. No commitment, no strings attached. Just want you going into it to know you're looking at the right numbers. This part's really important, especially for a first-time home buyer or anyone getting pre-approved with an online lender. Your lender calculates your debt to income ratio using your full principal, insurance, taxes, and interest. All of it goes in there. So if the MUD's going to add $290 a month to your escrow, the lender needs to know that so they can factor that into your debt to income ratios and can literally just kick you out where you don't even qualify, or maybe push you down and change up your loan package. But here's what I see happen. A buyer gets pre-approved with a national online lender. Lender doesn't know about Kaufman County tax landscape. They run generic numbers. Buyer finds the home, falls in love, gets under contract. And then as they get into the contract, and it's running down, they find out that, man, their monthly payment's about to jump $200 to $400. Now the buyer doesn't have that extra cash. They got to go back to the seller. We got to ask for concessions, or we just end up terminating and killing it. None of these are fun, and catching it before that option period ends is the big difference in the clean exit or a stressful closing. Working with a local lender who already knows how to run the Kaufman County tax rates and get you pre-approved at the right numbers from day one. Kelly Bergman with AI Lending, she knows this market. She's not going to miss the MUD rate. We're going to make sure MUDs and PIDs are factored in. It's a no-brainer. Now, if you're on the seller side of this, if you got a Forney new build and you're thinking about listing, the same rules apply. It's just, from the other direction. Forney's median price is down to about 4 to 5% year over year right now. Homes are sitting, 100 plus days on market, and buyers have time to do that tax rate math, and they certainly will. So make this disclosure clean, attach your prior tax bill. If there's a PID, we need to get that PID schedule. Uh, we need to assume that these buyers are savvy and that they know what they're doing. Sellers who get clean closing costs are the ones who put everything up in front. The ones who they they don't hide it. They know how much they're going to get at closing, and they're the ones getting the questions, the low offers, extended days on market. It's just not worth it. All right, so that's the breakdown on the MUD versus PID. What they are, what they cost you, how to find out, how to make sure that your loan's built with the right numbers. Buying new construction in Forney can be absolutely the right move for you. Some great neighborhoods, Forney, Crandall, Heath. There's real value out there for you. You just want to make sure you buy it with the full picture and the annual cost. So before you write an offer on anything in Forney or the surrounding areas, you can send me the address. I'll pull the PID, I'll pull the MUD, I'll pull the prior year's tax bill, tell you what your real monthly payment could look like. Hit me up 903-880-3989. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone who's shopping in Forney right now. They'll thank you for it. But thanks a lot for watching. Call me up. Let's get your piece of Texas.